What's up, party people? John Morris, johnmorrisonline.com. So here's a question. I've started my Upwork journey from January 1st, 2022, and the first 2 months were very overwhelming and consistent in terms of landing good jobs. I've made about 1K plus so far, but now I'm struggling a lot to get good jobs, even though I've been sending proposals continuously. Any tips? All right, so let's dive into this. So he asks about Upwork specifically, but I'm going to tackle it generally for freelancing because I get this question a lot as well. And it's sometimes tied to Upwork, but a lot of times it's just sort of general. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 8 reasons why you're not getting clients. And then I'm going to give you one not reason that a lot of people talk about, but really isn't a reason why you're not getting clients. All right, so let's jump into these. So reason number 1 is no repeat clients. If you're doing a good job, clients will want to hire you again. If you're delivering well, making them happy, they should want to hire you again. So if they don't, that is a problem, amigo. That's not normal. So you really want to look at the client experience you're providing and see why you're not getting clients that work with you once, wanting to work with you again and again and again. Now, right up front, I'll give you a shameless plug. Episode 7 of my Let's Talk Freelance course has a whole section dedicated to how I craft my own client experience for the famous clients that I've worked with. The course is on Skillshare. You can go to myjohn.us/LTF to learn more about it. I'll drop a link in the description as well. But again, you just really want to look at that service delivery experience and what might be going wrong there that's leading them to not want to hire you again. So that could be one reason why it's happening. It may just be the kind of service that you provide. It may not be all that conducive to repeat business, and so you want to look at it and see if there's ways that you can tweak your service or what you offer to make it a little more conducive to repeat business. Now, I'll give you an example outside of freelancing, and it's razors. You know, for a while, for the longest time, the razor companies just sold razors, and there was no disposable razors that you'd switch out or whatever. When a razor got bad, you would just buy a new one. So it might be 6 months, a year, however long it might be, and people would, probably use them longer than they needed to until it got really, really bad. And these companies just had to rely on the whim of the clients or the customers getting sick of their razor and wanting to buy a whole new razor. What they figured out is that they could provide a better shave because the blades were new and worked better for their customers, and they can make more money by selling disposable blades instead of people having to buy a whole new razor. And so that's what pretty much all of them went to, and then that's what they market and advertise primarily. There's still some of the traditional stuff out there, but most of the big companies now sell razors with disposable blades, and a big reason why is to get more repeat customers. So for steady work as a freelancer, you really should have a good mix of new and repeat clients. Getting brand new clients is the hardest way to get clients. So if that's all you're getting, you're doing it the hardest way possible and making it much harder on yourself than it has to be. It's a lot easier to get repeat clients. You might not get repeat clients month after month after month where one client's giving you work every month. But if you get, have 10 clients and one gives you work once a year, well, now you're getting one of those clients. You're getting 10 months out of the year where you have a client giving you repeat business. That makes things a lot easier. So repeat clients, focus on service delivery and why you're not getting repeat clients if that's happening. Reason number 2 is no referrals. So it's sort of the same deal. If you're doing a good job, you should be getting at least some referrals from existing clients. If not, that's no bueno. You need to figure out what's going on there. Could be delivery experience. It could be, you're working with the wrong type of clients. Again, it's not a good fit for providing referrals. It could be that you're not asking or hinting or encouraging. Now, I don't typically recommend that you hard press, you put the hard full court press on people to give you referrals. I think that tends to backfire on you because they get annoyed by it. So I don't recommend that. Others might, but that's not what I encourage. But you should be hinting or encouraging or dropping little seeds about it. Something as simple as, hey, if you know anybody else that needs help with something like this, I'd appreciate if you'd send them my way. Especially right after they tell you, hey, you did a really good job. I really appreciate it. You say thanks. If you know anybody, blah, 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 blah. And that's a really good time to do that. Now, an example of the wrong type of client, if you're a gentleman or lady of the night, then the clients probably aren't going to refer a lot of friends to you, or maybe they will. I mean, who knows? But probably not very likely. So that's an example of a service, an extreme example, but an example of a service that's not very conducive to referrals. So again, you just want to look at what you're offering and see if that's the case and see if there's anything you can do to get around that. And again, ultimately, you should have a good mix of referred versus non-referred clients. If you're not, then there's something wrong. And again, getting brand new clients that are not referred, that's the hardest way to get clients, but it's kind of the main way a lot of freelancers get their clients, or for a lot of freelancers, it's the only way they get clients. And you're just making it way harder on yourself when you just only get clients that way. So repeat business referrals, I put those 1 and 2 because they're the most important. I've hammered this I don't know how many times. They are the lifeblood of any service business, including freelancers. If it's not happening for you, it's not normal, you have a problem, try and figure out what it is. Those are the 2 biggest things that you can do. From there, we can start to look at some other things. So reason number 3 is what I call a bad client acquisition mix. So you're relying too heavily on a single method of getting clients. Now, freelance sites are one method, for example. And to use an example, our OP's question seems to indicate that he's relying primarily or solely on Upwork. That's not good. If you're using only one site, Upwork, it's even worse because you're not only using one method, which is freelance sites as a whole, but now you're only using one site within that. So you have one single point of failure. If something goes wrong there, you're screwed. So that's really, really bad. You don't want to do that. So first, you want to look at, in this case, the freelance sites, the method you're using, and try to expand within that. So get on multiple sites, get on Fiverr, get on Upwork, get on Freelancer, etc. Now, I recommend doing that within reason. If you're on 15 different freelance sites, it's going to be hard to manage. So you want to do that within reason, but you definitely should be on more than one. So that's the first thing. Within whatever category or whatever method you're using, try to expand that, and then expand the methods that you're using. So work on, building up your social media or networking or doing content creation, and freelance sites is a part of that, but you want to have multiple ways that you're getting clients. And then if you look at social media, you can expand within that. So you can be on YouTube, you could be on Facebook, you could be on Twitter, you could be on Instagram, and you're on multiple sites within that one method. And now you start to really expand all of the different ways that you're getting clients. Now, again, I'll give you a shameless plug here. My Freelance Feast course teaches 7 completely unique methods for getting clients. Methods. So freelance site is one method. Networking is one method. I show you 7 different methods, a couple that I don't really see anybody else talking about that have been very effective for me. And you can learn more about that at myjohn.us/feast. But ultimately what happens when you start doing this is now you end up with dozens of streams of in clients, and it's just a lot less likely that it's going to dry up because you can shift, you can put more emphasis in one place or another. Oftentimes what happens is you just end up getting more people trying to hire you than you can even projects you can work on, and so you're just constantly having this backlog and above sort of the threshold of work that you can complete, and you really don't ever have to worry about things drying up. So client acquisition mix can help you to do that. Reason number 4 is a bad client mix. So I recently made a video on this. I'll link that in one of the cards so you can watch it if you want. But you should have a good mix of clients on retainer, project-based clients, and hourly rate clients, because that gives you a good mix of earnings potential and the ability to pivot if one type dries up for some reason. So the way I look at it, and I talk about this in that video, but your floor of your revenue is essentially the clients that you have on retainer. So they're paying you month after month on retainer, and that's kind of the floor of what you're making. And if that's higher than everything, all the bills that you got to pay and so forth, then you're in a pretty good spot. The ceiling is project-based clients, because project-based clients are detached from an hourly rate if you do it right. And so you can make a lot on a particular project without having to necessarily work a lot more hours. So that allows you to really expand what you can make, your earnings potential. So that's your ceiling. And then hourly rate clients are kind of the how you fill in the gaps, right? So if you have, maybe you don't have a project that month or whatever, you can get some hourly rate clients and do some small projects, or you have some free time, you can take on an hourly rate project, etc. It just gives you a lot more flexibility, and having this mix of clients gives you a lot more flexibility. So as an example, I'll use myself. I've been on retainer with one client for over 12 years now. And so my floor has been really solid and steady, and that gives you peace of mind, it gives you confidence, and you don't have to worry so much about month after month bringing in new clients. Then from time to time, I'll take on projects that are not hourly rate, they're fixed price projects, depending on what I'm interested in, who it is, etc. And then if I'm really bored or want money, I'll do hourly work from time to time. So it's just having that good mix and flexibility and being able to pivot if you need to, if something dries up. All right, next, reason number 5 is a bad product packaging mixed. So you might only be offering services, and that's not abnormal. Plenty of freelancers do that. They only offer services, but a good mix of product packages includes services, products, and information. So to give you an example, if you're a graphic designer, your service could be that you're going to build the brand kit for the person, right? That's your high-end flagship service that you offer. But then you could also maybe offer a product, which is a PDF template. Maybe you take your process for delivering on your service and you put that into a template, and you can give that to a client and they can do it themselves. And so that's a product that you could offer. Or maybe you could turn that into a piece of software that they can buy and they can do it themselves, etc. So that's a product. And then information, you could do a course on building a brand kit that kind of follows along with that template or whatever. So you have the service, you have the product, and you have the information, which allows you to hit multiple market segments. Not everybody's going to want your high-end service. Not everybody's going to be able to afford it. So now you're able to hit different price points, different client desires and needs, and how they want to go about solving their problem. You're able to hit all of that and expose yourself to more of the market. You also pre-position yourself for shifts in the market. So if there's a recession or whatever the case may be, and the market suddenly shifts from paying for high-end services to seeking out lower-cost information, not only do you have something there, but you've already got the systems and everything in place beforehand for you to be able to deliver on that, market it, sell it, etc. You're already there. You're already established. You're not scrambling after the fact to try and play catch up as your revenue is dipping and you're going, pulling your hair out and starting to freak out. You're already there. The market shifts, and there you are. They see you, and they can take advantage of those products and services. So having a good product packaging mix, again, just allows you to deal with the ups and downs and allows you to expose yourself to more of the market, so you continually get clients and customers month after month after month. Reason number 6 that you might have stopped getting freelance clients is sometimes shit just happens, right? Pandemics, wars, recessions, right? There's stuff that just happens. And the example, the example, right? We all just went through the coronavirus pandemic, and a lot of businesses were affected, a lot of upheaval. There was nothing any of us could do about it. So sometimes it just happens, and you don't have much control over it. There's not much that you can do about it. So what you have to think about is, what are the things that I can do to prep myself for that, and to then how will I operate through that to make sure that I'm not SOL. And so number 1, probably heard this 1,000 times, save your money, but you really should be building up kind of a slush fund, or some people call it an FU fund, which allows you to then, if things really go bad and you're just not getting any work, you at least have some savings that you can rely on. On top of that, then, I wouldn't take all of that money as you build it up and just put it in a savings account that basically earns you nothing. I wouldn't invest all of it. I'd have some of it in savings, but I would take some of it and invest it so that your money can start to make more money for you, and you're earning and growing that slush fund without really having to do too much. You're just letting it sit there so it becomes bigger. That's more peace of mind. That's more confidence. Another thing is just what we've been talking about, multiple streams, multiple types of clients. All of these things help you to be able to pivot and adapt and be able to deal with these situations as they arise. Multiple types of offers, same thing. All of that allows you to expose yourself to more of the market. It allows you to pivot and do all the things that you need to do when shit happens and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? All right, reason number 7 is what I call a bad offer mix. So I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but you want to have high, medium, and low offers to hit all of your market segments. Now, this often coincides with the product packaging mix that I talked about before. So your high-end offer would be your full service. That's the thing that's going to cost the most. That's for your premium clients. Then the medium level might be, the product, a software, a template, etc. That's going to be for your medium level customers. And then you may have a low-end offer, which is information. So it often will coincide with your product packaging mix, but it doesn't always have to. But you want to have a good mix of high, medium, low offers so that you're exposing yourself to the entire market. You're not just focusing in on one segment, the high-end segment that wants the full service, and then suddenly something happens and those people just aren't hiring anybody anymore and now you're screwed, right? You want to expose yourself to the full market by having a good offer mix. So again, as an example, if you're a graphic designer, let's say your low-end offer might just be a website logo. You might do that for $50 or $100 or whatever the case may be. Then your medium offer might be a full website design, and your high-end offer may be a full brand kit that includes the logo, the website design, stationery, business cards, whatever the case may be, whatever goes into a full brand kit. That would be your high-end offer. So now you have different price points to hit different market segments. Everybody can buy from you. And if one is having trouble financially, one group of people is having trouble financially, typically other parts of the market are going to either remain consistent or do better. The common example is if you look at Amazon during the coronavirus pandemic, they did very, very well because suddenly everybody was at home and they couldn't go to Walmart and all these other places, so they just started ordering everything online, and Amazon was pre-positioned to take advantage of that. So that's what you want to do. You want to pre-position yourself that way and expose yourself to the full market. And you're probably also just going to make more generally because you are exposed to more of the market. There's more stuff that people can buy from you, and that's typically going to lead to just making more generally. Another thing is you might find you prefer one type of product or one type of offer better and switch gears. And I'll use your favorite YouTuber as an example. I started teaching and I found out I really like teaching. So I transitioned my business to being centered on information products. I still work with clients, right? I have a client on retainer. I'm still on retainer with that client. I still take projects from time to time. I still do hourly rate stuff, etc. But I've really positioned information products as the core of my business because I like teaching. So you may find that that's the case for you as well. All right, that's reason 7. Reason 8. Tough love, but it could be just that you're doing shitty work. And this is a place where you need to be honest with yourself. You can't do shitty work and expect to keep getting clients. It's not going to happen. People are going to find out and they're not going to want to hire you. Now, I find a lot of people don't want to do shitty work, right? That's not that's not the problem. The problem is they don't really know that they are. And so a good way to gauge where you're at is just take a look at others in your space and compare yourself honestly. Be objective about it. Don't go into it trying to make yourself right, trying to find ways to make yourself look good or whatever. Be honest, be objective, and compare yourself to others, and ultimately ask yourself, do you stack up? Because if you don't, then there's no reason for clients to hire you over your competitors. There's just no compelling reason to. So you have to really focus on getting better at what you do. That's the thing that's going to move the needle most for you. And ultimately, that's what all this is about. I'm throwing a ton of things at you because I want to give you tons of things that you can go through to try and figure out why you stop getting freelance clients. And so then if you have more things to go through, then you can ultimately hone in on what it is, get it fixed, and then things can pick up. So it could be just that you're not doing very good work and you need to get better. All right, so those are the 8 reasons why you may have stopped getting freelance clients. Now let's talk about the one not reason. And it's one that I see a lot of people bring up or talk about, and that is lizard people. Those evil lizard people are conspiring against you. What I mean by this is people will say, Upwork hates me, or Upwork is a scam, or Fiverr's a scam, or Freelancer's a scam, or clients only hire XXX freelancers, or clients only want XYZ, or whatever it is. It's like this nefarious evil blob that's out there, these evil lizard people and these corporations and these businesses that are out to get you. The reality is it's never that. Like nobody, hate to say it, but nobody really cares about you all that much. Nobody cares enough to conspire against you. Upwork's not sitting there watching what you post on Twitter and deciding that they're going to blackball you on their site. That's not how it works. Ultimately, these companies are in the business of making money, and the clients, that's typically the business they're in as well. And the sites, they want to hook people up with the clients up with the best freelancers for the job that they want done. And you not only have to be able to deliver and do a good job, you have to be able to market yourself well. When a client visits your profile, that you have to be able to construct it in a way that makes them want to hire you. That's part of the process. It's not Upwork's job to do that. Upwork will expose you to people. It's your job to sell them on you and then ultimately deliver. So that's really what it comes down to. It's not evil lizard people out there or some big conspiracy theory to hold you down. It really comes down to the actions that you're taking and the knowledge that you have to be able to execute in the right way in order to get hired. So don't blame the lizard people. They're just out there trying to live their lizard lives. And that's a great way to end this. We'll talk to you next time.